with King Richard, Serena and Venus, there's a lot of visuals to go by, but you have to find the iconic hairstyles because you only have a short period of time to tell that story. So you try to find which hairstyles are the most iconic that will make this story become real to the viewer who's watching it.
And let me ask you this. Yes, I do. And let me ask you this before because I really want to talk to you about coming to America because there's so many different styles in that. But let me ask you this before we get to that conversation. You have worked on such major projects. When I go through your filmography, I see things like the ABC Black History series on the network Soul of a Nation. I see Marlon. I see Sherman Showcase. I see Black Monday, Scary Movie 2, Amistad, Get On Up, The United States versus Billie Holiday, Dolomite Is My Name, Coming to America, and King Richard. These projects star major people in our industry, right? Especially for Black people. How difficult or how easy is it to collaborate with big names like a Will Smith, like a Eddie Murphy, like a Whitney Houston or a Brandy, like you did on Cinderella? Especially with Eddie, because you've worked with him twice. So clearly he trusts you.
Well, his personal barber hairstylist is Stacey Morris. She believed in me, that she worked with me a lot. I would hire Stacey on a lot of my shows as the barber. But this woman, let me tell you, she was beyond being a barber, and she just needed her chance to really be put on a platform so people could know how awesome she was. And she sent me the script to Dolomite, and she said, Carla, I really feel that you're the person to do this. And I said, Stacey, if you get me this, we'll call department head because you need to be elevated and you're helping me to be elevated. And so she got me the gig, and we worked together on Dolomite. And when Eddie's first day, when he saw, we were doing the scene, you know, the scene when they're walking down the street, that Beatles kind of thing. When he saw the background and he saw all the elements in the hair, he told Stacey, you know, I really feel like when I walk around, this is the first time I feel like I'm in character without prosthetics. He said, I feel like Dolomite, but also because of what you guys did with the background, he says it's very easy for me to become the character. So that was a real testament of how hard we worked and how much research we did.
Let's get into it, because honey, coming to America too, because I know that you added authenticity with this particular piece with, you know, Afrocentric and Afro-punk aesthetics. And I read an article where you said it was inspired by the traditional Amansuzu hairstyle worn by the Rwanda Tutsis. And it also was inspired by Ruth Carter's wardrobe designs. So if you could speak to all of that for a second, I'd really appreciate it.
Yes. So because we knew coming to America and we saw the first one, when I read the script, I was like, okay, we're going to spend more time in Zamunda, which I was so excited about. And there was this new another fictional country named Nextdoria. And I said, okay, this is exciting. So it was presented to us as, okay, Nextdoria is not a wealthy country. So they were thinking, you know, Wesley should look broke down and dirty and greasy and all of those things, right? And I approached it as, okay, first of all, in my culture, we don't do that. I said, have you noticed in the urban areas that when people may not have as much money as other areas, but they are still proud, they still are clean, they still fix themselves up? You know what? Do you notice that most of the mainstream fashion industry copies what the urban areas do? I said, so that's not really true to the culture. So I was like, why don't we look at it as they're an urban area, not so much broke down, but it's just more urban. So with that, I said, Tiana, when you see her, her hair would be different every time you see her because she's that girl. I said, Wesley is the president of his country. So if anything, he's taking all the money from the people, if anything, you know,
right?
And he's going to be sharp.
Like a Creflo Dollar. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I said to, you know, you didn't slide that.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I said that. I did. Creflo Dollar. I'll say it again.
Yeah. So I said to Stacy, we're not going out like that with that greasy and, you know, dirty look. And I just showed her a picture of this man and these men who had these different kind of hairstyles, you know. Now she did the research, she sketched it out, and she took it to a whole nother level. So all of that, which you saw with Wesley, that was all Stacy, and that was her research. After I just showed her one photo of where I think we should go with that.
I love that. I saw some photographs of y'all doing the mold for that wig, and I was fascinated by that because, like I mentioned to you before, I've been on Broadway, so you know they would do those mold wigs for us to create the hairstyles for whatever period we were in. And that first show, How to Succeed, was set in the 60s, so everybody had like a 60-ish kind of hairstyle. So when I saw the mold for that and you guys were using Afrocentric hair, I was fascinated by that because I'm like, how long is this going to take? What is this going to look like when it's done? With the zigzags.
She had never done it. Ooh. Yeah, she had never done anything like that. I had done something similar to that in Dolomite with Craig Robinson when he had I did something similar, but she took a raw Afro wig that was custom made for him, but it was raw. And she did that. And she has a video of it.
I saw it. That's what I saw.
Yeah,
I saw the video and the footage. I was like,
yeah. She figured that out. Yes.
She's
amazing.
That was amazing.
She's amazing. She's amazing. She's amazing.
We can't say enough about Miss Stacy.
No, we cannot. Yeah.
And what kind of advice would you give? Would you tell them, in addition to going to school and learning their craft, because that's first and foremost, would you talk to them a little bit about the union and let them find out about the union or how they need to go about infiltrating themselves into that in order to work on a consistent basis?
Yes. The first thing I would tell them to do is work on self and have a connection with a higher power first, and be humble. And that energy will guide you toward excellence. The second thing I would say is get familiar with people's work that you admire. Reach out to them. We're very blessed to live in a time where you can reach out to people on social media now. That mentorship is amazing. And I think we're willing to mentor, but the generation coming in they got to kind of humble themselves a little more and reach out and know that it takes time.
But I slid into your DMs. It was like, yo, and you were like, you were gracious, so gracious. And then I'm glad I got you when I did, because honey, right after I slid into them DMs, you started winning awards. I'm like, oh Lord, I'm glad I didn't wait, because it would have been impossible to get you after all these awards, because you're gonna win that Oscar, and I'll be like, yeah, I knew that was gonna happen. Thank you and good night. I'm silly. Let me stop. But Miss Carla Farmer, it has been my immense pleasure to speak with you today. And thank you for dropping all those gems and all those nuggets and sharing your process with me. I really appreciate it, because I know that someone is going to watch this and they're going to be inspired. Now, I don't even have enough words to express what I'm feeling right now, but I'll just say it simply. Thank you.
Thank you, Carla, for having me. I appreciate you, and keep rocking and keep doing what you do. You're a bright light. Thank you.
Thank you.